you please tell us your name, what you do, and where you're from?
Sure. My name's Britt Schulte. I'm actually unemployed. I recently graduated from the University of North Texas, and I actually moved up here just 5 months ago. So.
And why are you participating in this event today?
Well, I think that we live in really exciting times. I was personally inspired by the Arab Spring, earlier on this year, and the international solidarity that we're seeing now. I mean, granted, this is an echo, just a mere echo of that, but to see such a depoliticized country that I've been living in all my life, and to see this kind of political activity, I had to throw myself in it, and I'm completely committed to fighting for a better world, and I feel like I'm out here with hundreds of people looking to fight that same, battle, that same struggle, and thousands all across the country as well as all over the globe now joining in that struggle for a better world.
What do you think is the significance of that fact that it is really a global movement and there are millions of people, every country in the world?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm an internationalist, so I think that if we want to see real and lasting change in our world, that we have to interact in that global setting, in that global arena, right? So showing solidarity and understanding that we have more to gain when we unite and show that solidarity than if we remain divided, that if we remain believing the kinds of oppressive divisions that the ruling class has actually heaped upon us. So I think that that's really paramount, that we are showing this kind of solidarity internationally.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the ways that we can inspire each other to unite? Because this is, while it is a lot of people, it is a very small percentage of the citizens.
That's very true. I think that, we live in a depoliticized country here. We've been robbed of our history of struggle. I mean, this is an active thing that's been done to us. We're not taught about, the civil rights from the perspective of, the fighting struggle for black liberation. We're not taught about the fighting struggle for women's liberation. We're taught that some people made some decisions in the White House and they gave us our rights and yada, yada, yada. No, we need to understand that power lies within us. And I think that's when people begin to understand and demonstrate their active political power, out in the streets. And I think that, we really have to realize that within ourselves, but also collectively and talk to one another. We have a responsibility as politically conscious individuals to reach out. Like at these teach-ins we've been doing, that's incredible. Education needs to be on demand, free, in the streets like what we've been doing here. We need to continue that level of raised political consciousness so that we feel our own power and we can act and take that into the streets.
So, in addition to being so politically and economically interconnected, we also have an open flow of communication. So how do you think we can utilize that, the World Wide Web and everything else, to influence people to this unity you're talking about?
It's absolutely essential, right? But it's only one tool, because we realize it's a double-edged sword. The internet actually can be cut off. We've seen internet blackouts during the Iranian Revolution. When the riots were happening in Britain, they started pulling the plug on certain social networking sites. So while it is paramount that we utilize these things to express that interconnectedness and to reach out to our brothers and sisters all over the world, we have to realize that what we do in our localities, in our neighborhoods, and in our regions is just as significant and important, because they can pull that from under us, right? And so we have to realize that the World Wide Web and social networking is a double-edged sword. And so that doesn't exclude us from the fight here in our neighborhoods and in our cities and streets right now.
So practically speaking, what is it that we have to do? What are some of the ways that we express this unity, and what do we do with it practically?
Well, I'm a person that believes that you have to know where you stand, you have to know what you're fighting for. We should have some demands, oh my gosh, that people can get behind and can feel empowered by, and we start winning those small reforms so people get a taste of their power, and then we move forward and we're able to express in various ways, with civil disobedience, with teach-ins, and a number of ways, sit-ins, that we can start moving things forward as a people. And so I think that's what it's going to take, several different things and factors coming together with making those demands, standing behind them, winning those reforms so people feel their power, and then pushing this forward.
Okay, so as my final question, how do you envision a long-term outcome of these types of initiatives and processes?
I mean, we don't have a crystal ball, right? I mean, winter's coming. We're going to have to be creative in the way in which we hunker down and get stuff done. So, and it's going to look different across the world. I saw, the map of Europe with their occupations popping up all over the place. It's going to look different no matter where we are. But I think the important thing is that we don't stop the conversation. We don't stop the dialogue. We keep the fight up. We stand behind those demands, and we start participating in direct action to realize them.
But once we do all that, what is it that we're trying to achieve? How do you picture a society at the end of this line?
Well, I mean, I'm fighting for the redistribution of wealth. I'm fighting for free medicine, for free education, for free housing. I'm fighting for things based on human need, not corporate greed. So I envision us democratically in our workplaces and in the kinds of situations that we come together and express our labor power. I want us to control the means of production. I want us to facilitate a kind of world where we don't need that 1%. We already shown we don't need them. We don't need them. We create everything as it is. So what's stopping us from taking those means of productions back and providing for people who need it, providing for ourselves in a democratic, egalitarian way? That's what I want to see.
Do you think it's possible to build a world like that when there is some kind of a separation, when there is still a small group of people that you are actively against? Do you think that it's possible?
I think I'm 100% one to the idea. Sorry. I'm 100% one to the idea that we can overcome a lot of these things and a lot of these obstacles that we face. And I think it's not going to be as easy as just, sitting around singing Kumbaya, although I think that's totally righteous. I think that it's going to take some real decisive measures moving forward, and it's going to take some hardship. It's going to take some hard decisions and facing the brutality that the system is going to throw in our face. And we have to realize that it's going to be hard because they don't want us to have power. They really like the position they're in. But I do think that we can overcome these things. It's been done before. We've seen glimpses of people rising above their circumstances. I mean, look at Egypt, look at Tunisia, look at how inspiring that is. And I think that that's only the beginning, and we can win that.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your input.
Thank you so much. Yeah, take care.